in Florida too.
Right.
20 years, HOA problems. Tell us what's going on.
41 years in Florida, 20 years in my home.
Wow. And so they installed the courts in 2022.
Right. They installed them about 3.5 years ago. They converted tennis courts to pickleball without any vote by the neighborhood. Nobody played for the first 6 months, and all of a sudden I went and I said, "What's that noise?"
Oh my goodness.
And then they started playing. And then they started playing more.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
So it's gotten exorbitant, but we're not giving it up. Because if we give up, they'll put more courts in there, and then they'll start bringing leagues in the neighborhood. So a lot of people aren't playing out of respect for us, okay?
That's nice.
Because our story's gone around the neighborhood. But we can't stop this because the way this cabal is, we also have one of the officers on our board who used to be our president is a elected official in Boca Raton Parks and Recreation, spearheading 2 pickleball projects worth $15 million each in the city of Boca Raton, and he doesn't want us to prove that sound is an issue. And he was out there today leading a 5th sound study, trying to prove something different they've never been able to prove.
In what way is the person going to prove that sound is not an issue? Does he live next to a court?
No, he lives in another part of the development, but he doesn't want us to prove that sound is an issue because he's running all these projects in Boca for pickleball.
Oh my goodness, that's terrible.
Yeah.
What do you think is the
And
ultimate solution for all of this?
Try and change our board, which we have elections next week, but they've been going around and using the bully pulpit. We are going to go back to court. We have a mediation on the 27th of July, which I don't understand why we're having a second mediation. We got nowhere the first time in 9 hours. Okay. They changed attorneys, and our judge is retiring at the end of the summer. So they're kicking the can down the road so that hopefully they'll get a different judge and make us start all over and accrue more fees. So they're doing everything they can. And he literally turned to my next door neighbor today, then when they were doing a sound study out there today of the basketball courts, having people screaming and yelling to prove that, and it wasn't pickleball. And he turned to her and said, "We're in for the long haul. You don't know how much it's going to cost you. Okay. We're in the long haul. Our insurance is paying for it."
Oh my goodness, that's terrible. That's really terrible.
Okay. The other aspect of it is I have chronic nerve pain from an accident 7 years, and I brought that up in court. And pickleball is a trigger for my nerve pain. I spent weeks in the trauma center. I have chronic nerve pain. I'm treating it every Friday. I still do physical therapy 7 years later, and when I sit in my backyard and I hear that, it triggers it. And that's another aspect besides your right to quiet enjoyment and the HOA aspect.
Yeah, it's both the health and the quiet enjoyment, all the property rights issues. And that's amazing. So, I mean, I'm so sorry to hear about all of this. What do you think, this is a nationwide, even an international problem. What do you think the ultimate solution is for the world, for the nation?
It's not appropriate. It's not appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, what do they try to get out of the sound studies anyway? The human ear is bothered by it, so...
They've required quiet paddles, but they have nobody there to enforce it. Okay. So people pick up the quiet paddles from our clubhouse, walk over, they put them on the ground. We have videos of them putting with the paddles on the ground and just saying, "We don't like playing with them. They're not the same. We're not going to play with them." So there's no way for them to enforce even the things that they had compromised on.
Yeah.
There's no way to enforce it. And we're not the pickleball police, is what we've said at court and every meeting. They shut us down at every board meeting. They've had private board meetings. They've done everything they can to quiet us. They won't allow Zoom at the board meetings because they don't want to be transparent. Okay. And they're going to try and outnumber us 5-0 again on the board after the election next week. Because they have the ability to reach out to everybody through call lists and email lists that we don't have access to.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So we're not giving up, but we're going to go back to court.
Don't give
mediation,
up.
But it's the amount of money is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the tough part. I mean, that's...
Can they do a petition?
Have you done a petition? Is somebody's asking from the room.
Have we done a petition?
Yeah.
I mean, they've done surveys in the neighborhood, and they got 70 out of 205 people to answer. And when I went to do the survey, it wouldn't let me do it. And when I brought it up at the meeting, they said, "We didn't have any problems." but I tried to do a survey and it wouldn't let me in, and everything was written ambiguously.
Yeah.
So they control the narrative, and they don't let anybody speak, and they don't let you speak up at the meetings. But we're in litigation, we can't discuss it. Yet they send out something to the whole neighborhood in an email, which referenced something that went against everything they've been enforcing at our meetings. So
can you get on the board and play a role that way?
we have an election on Tuesday. We have 2 people we're trying to get on the board.
Okay, well, I hope you
Okay.
succeed, because that's the only way it seems like it's going to end.
Right, and it's not about, it's about the quiet enjoyment of our property, which everybody talks about. But if we don't nip it in the bud now, who knows what it's going to expand to?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. And those neighbors need to be very considerate. It's such a loud game. It's not just loud. It's annoyingly loud. Yeah. And it has nothing to do with decibels. It just gets in your ear. Human ear is very sensitive to that noise. People need to understand this. Well, Richard, thank you so much for joining us today. We wish you good luck, and stay in touch and let us know how Pickleball Noise Relief can help. And, this is a fundraiser. We're trying to raise funds so that we can send experts to conferences and then do inexpensive, hopefully, sound studies and get the word out. And so if anybody is able to contribute to our telethon, please do. We're all volunteers here, so we're not getting paid, don't worry. But we need to come together and beat this problem together. So,
I'll be happy to talk to anybody.
okay. Well, thank you,
Thank you.
Richard. Thank you so much.
Thank you, good sir. If you want to make donations to the Pickleball Noise Relief Fund Drive, take a look at these QR codes right there. We have the GoFundMe QR code and we have the PayPal. We need your support. Please help us, because as you can see, we're all doing it here at this podcast today. And we'd love to actually put more money in, have more people involved, and help everybody into this project.
It's showing on it's 4 minutes.
In my former role as Deputy Executive Director of Denver Parks and Recreation, I had the joy of just really trying to make sure we addressed growing needs in our park system. One of those growing needs was pickleball. What we should have done was really think about this long term, think about the noises and the activity that goes along with pickleballs, and really came up with some real criteria to locate pickleball courts. You have to be able to explain to people why you're making decisions and why you are trying your best to make sure that you're not putting different user groups in conflict with each other.
When I first heard the sound, I thought it was just crazy kids playing out and, on the schoolyard. And then we found that noise was occurring every day. And when we would go into our home, close the doors, close the windows, try to escape the sound, we would still hear it.
And pickleball is a great sport for a lot of people to meet new friends. They're very passionate about it because they've found a new venue for getting outside and socializing and just having a really good time. And I kept reminding myself of that and questioning, why do I feel so disturbed when I'm hearing that? Why can I not carry on a conversation? Why can I not read a book?
Because every pop grabs your attention, and it's so hard to think about anything else.
But we could not escape it, and my neighbors couldn't escape it either.
I couldn't even watch football without hearing the popping and grabbing my attention away from the game.
It is the sound you can't unhear. It takes a little bit of conditioning before you get to that point. The first, couple weeks or months, it's irritating, but there's some threshold that you hit where you're saturated with it, and then it's under your skin, and it is the sound that you can't unhear.
I think with pickleball, the duration of exposure and the constancy of exposure is really, really important. Think about it. If noise was just decibels, a dripping faucet would not bother anyone. But if that faucet is dripping, 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 You can't get away from it. You leave the house, you come back, it's still dripping. You try and go to sleep, you hear that dripping. It's that constancy and not being able to shut it out. This gives people a feeling of powerlessness. It's very stressful. Other concerns come in, like, who would want to live in my house?
We ended up moving out of the home, and it was a very difficult choice to make.
And I sat in the backyards of people that were directly adjacent to the courts that we built. And within a week, we decided to close those courts because it was not fair to that community that we placed those courts there, and that the amount of conflict that we put in that community was not right.
Stories about distress over pickleball noise are coming in from all over the country, and the complaints are very, very consistent. We're seeing the same effects talked about over and over and over again by a wide variety of people. Pickleball's a wonderful sport and can bring communities together, but only when it's planned with care.
Quiet communities.
Hi, Amy.
Hi, Amy.
Welcome to the show
Hi.
from Wisconsin, Fox Point.
Yes. Fox Point, Wisconsin, a suburb of Milwaukee.
Nice. So, you have an issue with a private club owning 8 courts, is that right?
So, yes, I live directly behind a private club that started to play pickleball. I don't know, how much of the history do you want? I'll try to abbreviate it. They started to play pickleball a few years back, and then it was just hit or miss. You know, it was in those early days where it wasn't that much, and we're like, what's that noise? And then they came with asking for permission to build 8 courts.
Oh my goodness.
Permanent courts there. And so I got the whole neighborhood involved, and we started complaining, and the village sort of heard us, and we're like, we can make everybody happy. And they drafted a conditional use permit that would require them to do mitigation and limit play to like 55 hours a week from May through September. And the club disregarded that and kept playing. And so then the village and the club sued each other, and there were lawsuits back and forth.
Wow.
And it finally culminated in December with the village giving the club a conditional use permit that allows them to play like 55 hours a week from May through September. There will be play 7 days a week, various hours varying each day, starting no earlier than 9 and ending no later than 8. 2 nights a week will go till 8. Now, this summer is quiet for me because they cannot play until they do their mitigation. And they are going to do that work later this summer. So this summer is going to be quiet at least until later this summer. I don't know exactly what they're doing for mitigation. Nobody will tell me. They did get a study done by PMS, and that they're following those recommendations. But nobody from the village really confirmed that what is going to be done will work. They just took their word for it. So it is yet to be seen. And 3 members of the board said no. Unfortunately, 4 members said, sure, they should be able to play if they want to play. We shouldn't tell people they can't play pickleball.
Oh my God. And did anybody bring up the sound issue?
Oh yeah. I mean, they know about it. I've shared everything, like everything from Rob and from Charles and from Kathleen has been shared to them. And I think that's where 2 of the people these people were also on the board, 2 years ago when the CUP was being discussed, are now saying, no, we shouldn't have pickleball. But they're doing it. They're going to open the public courts. They're going to try just 3-hour slots like on the court on the south side of town, like 9 to noon, and the courts on the north side of town from 4 to 7. So they're going to limit it to like 3 hours a day for those neighbors, which I guess it's better than more hours. And it's 5 days a week. But they're not going to do any mitigation because a couple of these people have heard me complain that, you know, the noise barriers are not a complete solution because the sound goes over them.
Right.
So they decided, well, since those barriers don't work, we're not going to spend any money on them.
Well, they have to do a study instead of just.
Oh, they're
giving
not
up.
doing studies. No, they're not doing studies.
That's really sad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that, Amy.
Yes, Amy, we feel for you. We know.
Yeah.
Thanks. Now, the public courts are far enough away that I won't hear them. But, you know, I felt like I went to that meeting and I talked to the board and said, you can't do this. Like, there's 90 homes within 500 feet of these two
People are going
courts.
to be so disturbed.
You got to knock on those doors and talk to those people and get everybody together to work together as a
You
group.
know, I knocked on some doors,
Yeah.
but I just got to the point where I'm like, they knew about the meeting, and I can only do so much.
We know.
Like,
We know.
I can't save them. They have to help themselves.
Yeah.
And what made me really mad is I talked to one lady on the phone. I got a hold of her. I talked to her, and she goes, I hated the pickleball. I don't want it. I don't want it here. It's so awful. I said, you need to write a letter. You need to come to the meeting. At least write a letter before the meeting. She's like, no, we had water in our basement. I can only deal with the flooding issue now. I can't deal with it.
Yeah.
Okay, Amy. Well,
No.
one at a time, Amy. One at a time. But don't give up,
Right.
okay? You stick with it. We have to get out of here.
nice of you.
We have to
Yeah.
head out to another section. But Amy, hang in there, okay? There's a big group
I
here
will.
for you. Reach out to these folks. Talk to these people.
Yep.
We know what you're going through. We get it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bye, Amy. Thank you.
Bye.
Hi, everybody. This is Mona Barbera, psychologist in private practice and expert in the treatment of PTSD. I would like to use this time to propose to you that pickleball abutters, or many pickleball abutters, currently qualify for the diagnosis of PTSD for 7 reasons, and at this point may not qualify for 1 reason. So first, the reasons that they do qualify for the diagnosis of PTSD. They have intrusion symptoms, which is persistently re-experiencing involuntary and intrusive distressing memories, where you feel like it's actually happening again, like in nightmares, or intense physical or psychological distress when you're just remembering it, like somebody's talking about it, or you're thinking it's going to start happening in 15 minutes. The second the criterion is avoidance, that PTSD diagnosis depends on the person avoiding people, places, conversations, or even internal thoughts and feelings that remind you of the experience. For instance, when I go on vacation, there is a pickleball court at the entry to the town where I stay. And there are also other things there, like a farmer's market and other ways to exercise. But I will never, ever go into that pickleball location, because I feel like I have to avoid it, which is a bit irrational because pickleball is not always playing there. So I qualify for that avoidance symptom. The next qualification is that a PTSD sufferer must have developed some extreme negative thoughts about themselves as a result of the traumatic event, like overly negative thoughts about yourself or assumptions about yourself, even a sense of like, it's my fault, or I shouldn't be feeling so bad, or even intense, slightly irrational blame of others for causing the trauma, making it just very hard to feel good. The next criteria is called reactivity and agitation. And that means that the person would have irritability, aggression, even some reckless or self-destructive behavior. For instance, I have avoided sleep problems by trying to climb into a high loft on a ladder and coming down in that ladder in the morning when I'm groggy, knowing that it's not completely safe, but just needing to get away from the sense of pickleball in my house. So that's a bit self-destructive. The next criteria is the duration. These symptoms have to last for more than a month. And the last criteria is that the symptoms have to cause significant distress or impairment in social, work, or other important areas of life. For instance, can you still work in your house online or studying or doing anything that's related to work with the sounds of popping or even the agitation of anticipating the popping? Or has it reduced your social life because you don't want to invite people to your house with the popping sound? Or are you more irritable towards your family or friends because of the pickleball experience that you've had? So those are the 7 reasons why pickleball abutters could qualify for PTSD. And here comes the reason that they may not yet qualify for the diagnosis. The reason is that PTSD diagnosis depends on there being a traumatic event which is life-threatening or experiences life-threatening and would cause great damage to just about anybody. And that is currently understood to be physical violence, sexual violence, or witnessing those kinds of violence. So pickleball is not yet known to be such a life-threatening experience, but there is some research that is indicating that that could be proposed or even agreed upon in the future, especially since some of the research indicates that the body absorbs the pickleball sound and interprets it as a threat, a repeated threat many times a minute. So the more that that research can progress, I think the more possibility there is that pickleball can be understood as a life-threatening event, a serious traumatic event, and abutters who are suffering could qualify for the diagnosis of PTSD. Thank you all for listening. Very good to be with you.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. That was good stuff.
That was
doctor,
wonderful.
Giving us some information on sound, things like that. And now we got another specialist. We have, I think it's Stuart from San Diego? Stuart from San Diego. Hey, Stuart, can you hear us out there, buddy?
Yeah, I certainly can. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, look, I'm actually calling in from Australia.
Australia, no way.
Which is my home, but
down under.
We
is it true that the toilets go the other way, the water
goes
goes the other direction down there? Is that true?
Absolutely, it does.
Well, Stuart, welcome to our show. Talk to us, sir. What do you got for us today?
Yeah, so look, I'm going to start by telling my story of noise, and it's not pickleball. It's a couple of noisy barking dogs next door to me in the house that I bought many years ago, and I got to see the way that noise regulators, in my case at town council, address noise complaints, and the reality was, they just didn't have the ability to do that. They didn't have the technology to be able to find out what was going on. They would send an officer out, they would sit outside for half an hour. They were generally not very well trained about what noise is and how it works. Mm-hmm. And then that officer was expected to make a judgment as to whether a noise was a problem or not. And half an hour is not enough time to know
it's not.
How bad a problem is. As all of your callers in are experiencing, it's the relentless ongoing impact of noise that causes the real harm. And for a regulator to be able to address and solve and make the right decisions, they need to have information that conveys that extent of the problem and how often it's occurring. So a number of years later, that was the seed for what is now NoiseNet. I had the opportunity and kicked off a business to essentially help what ended up being helping noise regulators gather data cost effectively and efficiently so that they can look at a noise problem, they can install one of our devices there, and they can leave it there for a week or 2 weeks. And at the end of that time, they can go, wow, we got a real problem here. This is crazy. Or in some cases, gee, barely detectable noise. We can close this case out. So it gives them data to make informed decisions. So in the process of expanding into the US, came into contact with Nalini and Rob, and didn't get great pickup with cities wanting to do noise monitoring, but saw there was this groundswell of residents who were looking for a way to move forward with their problem. They were saying it's relentless, it's going from 7 till 10, it's constant, but nobody believes us, or people are ignoring that fact. And so we've built into our system now the capacity to measure pickleball noise, to count essentially the number of pops that are occurring. We've been working with Charles and Rob and Nalini, and specifically Charles has given us a guidance on what he think will be most impactful. And we've put that into a package that resident groups or individuals can, for a fraction the cost of an acoustic consultant, be able to hire one of our devices, self-install it, leave it in for a week or 2 weeks, and we'll give you some data and a report saying, you know, at 7 a.m. there were 563 pickleball pops, at 8 a.m. there were 890, at 9 a.m. there were 1,300, and map that out across a week or 2 weeks.
Wow.
Providing some audio samples at different distances. And so you've got this package from an expert, and you're not looking at spending much more than $1,000 to be able to get to that stage. So it doesn't eliminate the need for a consultant in the future, potentially, but what it does is it gives you something third-party, independent, that you can put on the table with your HOA or your city or with the club that is running the pickleball courts. That's essentially what we're doing.
So Stuart, quick question. So this base, you put this device up. So I get your point. Like you just can't do 30 minutes. It's just not enough. So you're saying leave these things up for about a week or 2 weeks. They just sit there, and all they do is monitor the whole time. And then you're collecting all the data of all the pops and sounds from those pickleball courts or whatever else may be around. And now that data, you basically take all that information and say, okay, here's the high points, low points, here's how long it was, and all this. Are these basically like certified documents? So if, let's say somebody goes into a lawsuit or something like that, or something, are these documents, are they like engineering type firm has certified documents? Is that good enough for something like that?
Yeah, I mean, so we present the results in 2 ways. The first one is a daily report.
Yes, sir.
So each morning, you and anyone else that you've got on the mailing list will receive an email from us giving you how many pickleball pops there were in the essentially over the prior 14 days.
Can you count the actual pops? You can count the actual pops that happened?
Yeah.
No
I mean,
way.
I've got some data now. I'm just going to have to screen it very carefully so I don't give away the resident's address.
I'd love to have a number. How many pops an average day? I love the number.
Let me see if I can.
How many chords are we talking about, by the way?
That's true too.
How many chords, Stuart?
What numbers?
Well, it doesn't matter. It'll count. The device is placed at the relevant location for measuring, so usually at the complainant property. And what we're doing is we're measuring the number of audible pops at that location. So just back to it, we send these daily results, and, you can send that to the city as well. So if there's an officer investigating, they can be receiving those daily results.
Okay.
And then at the end of the monitoring, we'll compile a report that we describe as a legal quality report.
Fantastic.
That takes a little bit longer because we do some human validation. Our teams will just double check to make sure the system is accurate.
Okay.
For instance, the case that one of the cases, the one that I was going to show you, there's a skate park to the pickleball courts, and the pickleball courts stop at a particular time.
Yes, sir.
But the skate park is always available, and so our system might be cross-referencing some of the sounds from the skate park, pop, crack type sounds. And so when we do the legal quality, we'll go in and we will validate the accuracy and make sure that everything is square. And that then becomes something that you can use if you're progressing with legal action or going in front of the town council or whatever. You've got, yes, this has been verified by a third-party consultant.
Okay, good news, man.
And
Stuart,
final
so
piece is we capture data that can be passed on then to an acoustic consultant. So if they then need to gather data, it saves them having to do the long-term data gathering.
Hi everyone, my name is Priscilia Carrijo and I'm a business development manager for a company that manufactures sustainable noise walls. Today I'll be doing a quick 5 minutes presentation to discuss noise related to pickleball courts and how it can be mitigated with the use of noise walls. So what is noise? There is a difference between noise and sound. Sound becomes noise when it's unwanted, when it disrupts sleep, conversation, learning, or relaxation. Noise is measured in decibels. And just as a comparison, 60 decibels is equivalent to a conversation, 80 decibels a lawnmower, and 110 decibels a rock concert. Pickleball courts, they generally sit around 70 to 85 decibels, which is comparable to a lawnmower. A lot of people think of noise as just a nuisance. However, there are a lot of very significant negative health impacts of noise pollution. So there are many studies out there that show the negative health implications of noise. One of them is shown here. It was done by Harvard Medicine, in which it lists a bunch of health issues a lot of people are really not aware of, such as cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, memory impairment, and childhood learning delays. So the problem is real and it is serious and it needs to be addressed. Now let's take a look at how sound travels and why noise walls are effective at significantly minimizing it. The source of the noise is obviously the pickleball court, and then it travels through open air and it reaches the receiver, which are the nearby homes and the residents. And sound has 3 different frequencies: low, for example, engines; mid frequency, for example, speech and music; and then the high frequency, for example, alarms. Pickleball courts, they generate high frequency sounds, where human hearing is really the most sensitive. And when you put a noise wall in a way that you are creating a barrier so that that noise doesn't travel through open air, a portion of that sound will be either absorbed or it will be reflected by that noise wall. And noise walls are definitely effective at mitigating high frequency sounds. A well-designed noise wall can potentially reduce noise by about 10 decibels. And what it means is that residents will perceive that noise half as loud, which is a pretty significant improvement. And the good news is that these walls, they can also look beautiful. As you can see here are just some of the examples of some noise walls that, we've installed in the past. You don't necessarily have to, build or stare at an ugly wall, because there are beautiful options out there, like RMP Global's noise walls. So just to summarize, so we all know that pickleball court noise is real and it needs to be addressed in order to maintain the health and the well-being of those that live near it. And a well-designed noise wall can help by reducing the perceived sound level by half, which will keep communities around our country happy and healthy. So thank you for your time. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.
All right. Well, welcome to the show. And you're in British Columbia?
Yes.
And you have a success story. Tell us about it, please. Yeah.
It required a lot of, research in the first place. So the whole story started in we bought this house in 2017, and there was a plan and it's next to a park, and we were okay with that. We like park noises, that's fine. And there were tennis courts, and then the city wanted to make a basketball court and stuff. And it's like, everybody was invited. We said, sounds good, let the youth play. So that was the plan in 2017-18, but around in 19, just before COVID, the Pickleball Association, the president made a one-person, presentation. Nobody was invited. Nobody was told anything to the city. And he said, better make pickleball here. So they said, okay, let's make pickleball. We didn't even know what pickleball was at that time.
Yeah.
So they made some rudimentary courts, not very fancy. And people started playing. We didn't mind. They were not using a lot of those, heavy noise paddles and stuff. And then COVID came and it all stopped. So 2021, they laid down the surface, like the proper surface and everything, and made it all fancy with fencing and everything. And it was still not that bad until the summer of 2022, when it just bursted with people coming from everywhere.
Wow.
And it was busy from, dawn to dusk.
Wow.
And there wasn't, even if we wanted to play, we couldn't find a space. And this was just 20 feet from my house, literally 20 feet from my house. And then then the summer came. So they started around spring. Still, this is British Columbia, so it's pretty cold, so doors were generally closed. Summer 2022 is when it started to have its effect on us, and 2022 August I made my first complaint, 22nd of August I think. And they first didn't acknowledge, then I sent a reminder, and then they were like, okay. So they made a rule that, okay, don't play before 9, although many people tried to break that as well. But nothing in the evening, morning 9, fine. And I was like, that's not enough. You need to either limit them to a couple of hours a day, otherwise just close the courts and put what it was originally supposed to be.
Yeah.
And then the whole campaign against me started. You are the only one complaining. Nobody else is complaining. All that. Everybody in the group knows all those things, right? And I said, I'm the only one complaining because I'm being disturbed. My house is next door, not everybody else's house is next door. If your house is robbed, it's not that everybody in the lane is going to say my house is robbed too. My house is robbed, so I will complain.
Yeah.
Then I started doing the research on what other cities had done and how they had temporarily or permanently banned stuff, and the sound noise reports, all the scientific data I collected the different cities' approach in British Columbia. And then there was a case in Niagara-on-the-Lake where they closed the pickleball court for 2 years following the complaint. I think they did reopen it again, but at that time it was hot news, so I used that. And I sent all that information to them, nothing happened again. And then I had to go to India in 2023 for a couple of months, and my wife was still here, and this really got to her nerves. And I continued to do the research, and then I found a statement by a deputy mayor in which he had said when they were planning to put this pickleball court next to a community house in a much smaller town next door, like within our own municipality, but a little bit different community. That community had stopped them, and then he had made a statement to the local paper that, oh, we don't want people to hear pickleball noise when they are getting married or having a party or something next to a community hall. It was in print. I found that, and I challenged them that how is it that you are concerned more about people having a party or a wedding being disturbed by the noise, but a family who's living here every day, you don't care about us. Why? Right? But again, nothing. So when I was coming back from India, I had a layover in France, 7-hour layover. So I sent an email from France to them and to the local press, just my local press, that I will start a hunger strike.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
And by the time I
We're not endorsing
landed,
it, sir, but I just didn't know.
Maybe we all do that. 2,000 people in the group.
Oh, I have some suggestions about that. So when I landed, it had already blown up.
Wow.
And a friend of mine, I do some stand-up comedy too, and a comedian friend of mine had sent me a Facebook message. Hey, is that a comedy thing, or are you really doing something like that?
Wow.
I said, no, that's a plan.
Wow.
So I landed, I think, 20th of July, 2023, and within the next 48 hours, we had all set up there. We put a little, a cot there and put some banners. I had already made the banners and everything from India. Got some flyers, and next day the whole media was at my house.
Wow.
Like the national media was at my house. Washington Post carried a whole full page story on me.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
And the vernacular press, the local, the global TV, CTV, CBC, everybody was doing that.
Crap. So you got some attention there, boss.
And then I started an email campaign. I asked I started getting traction here. I mean, I started getting a lot of hate too online, no doubt about that. So on the morning of my first day of hunger strike, like I started, and then the next morning, I made a video early morning. I was jet lagged in any case, so I was up at like 5, and the park nobody was there. I sat in the pickleball courts and I made a video, and I told the whole story in that video to the general public. It got like 1,000+ views within a few hours.
Nice.
And now the mayor was scared. Then I started an email campaign. I asked all my friends and everybody to send an email to the mayor to do the right thing. Clog his inbox.
Wow.
All my colleagues, my students, everybody started doing that. And then the local public's mood shifted towards me, right? So that scared him, the mayor and everybody. And then on the third day, after 50 hours, they sent me an email that we want to have a chat with you. First, they wanted me to come alone. I said, I'm not coming alone. I'll have a witness with me.
Witness, of course, absolutely. Smart.
So we went there, and they said, we have our constituents, this and that, blah, blah, blah. I said, that's not the point here. You should not have made it. You have not done any noise study. You have no idea what you're doing, and you've just done it. So we had a deal. This was, just like somewhere in 25th of July or something. The deal was that the pickleball courts will be permanently closed after 30th November. Until that, the timings will be limited. On weekend, they will close at 4 in the evening. I mean, they'll start at 9.
Okay.
Weekend and holidays till 4, and other days till 6. And I was given the phone number to call a security company in case they continued to play beyond that. And we had to call the security company many times.
Wow.
They didn't stop on their own.
They kept playing.
And sometimes they would even bully, because these were young security private security, they would even bully them, and I had to go to the defense of security people.
Wow.
But the story doesn't end there. So 30th of November comes, they close the court, they lock them up. First week of December, I see, those makeshift nets that they have, the permanent nets were taken away. So the door was open and a group was playing there.
Oh my goodness.
And I didn't wait. I just took my camera and I confronted them. How did you even get in there? Who gave you the keys? And there was a lot of back and forth. And then they again made some stupid comments. I said, no, this is not going to happen. They said, okay, give us 1 hour. I said, okay, but this is not the end of it. So I shot an email again to the city that you promised us. Twice that happened before February came, February of 24, is when they started putting in basketball and ball hockey, which was the deal. Okay. Now, but they didn't take the lines away. They didn't take the pickleball lines away. They just put the nets there. And the very first sunny day of spring, somewhere in March,
people are crazy.
Knew something was going to happen. And me and my wife were there. And lo and behold, they came with their makeshift nets.
Yeah, there it is. I knew
and they said, we are going to play pickleball. And I said, no, you're not. Me and my wife, we just stood there. They said, we pay taxes too. I said, I don't care, you pay taxes. I pay more than you probably. However, I have a letter from the mayor that no pickleball here. You call the cops, have me bloody arrested, put me into prison, but you are not playing pickleball here. This continued for about an hour. They were even trying to record me surreptitiously, trying to get me to say something which they could use against me, but I was very clear, firm and polite. Sir, I have a deal with the city. You cannot play pickleball here. End of story. And bring the mayor here and let me talk to him. And let him say that there's no deal. They left. 2 hours later, they came back. And because we weren't there, they put their net in, they started playing. We heard the noise, me and my wife. We took our basketball and we said, we are going to play basketball here. And we said, we'll play where your net is. And now that net is like $700. I said, we don't care if it hits you. This place is not for pickleball. This place is for basketball, and we are playing basketball. And one of them's like, yeah, you can do. And then my wife shot the basket. It landed next to him. Oh, it could have hit me. I said, yeah, it could have hit you. This is not your space. And then they left. And then I sent another email. I said, this is going to get ugly, Mr. Mayor. Next time, it may get uglier. So do something. And next day, I got it was a Sunday. So I sent an email Sunday evening, and Monday morning, 8:15, I had an email back from them that, no, it's all over. We are going to take the lines away, and we'll make it proper basketball and everything.
Oh.
So that was the end of it almost. I mean, they still tried to bully their way. Like sometimes they would just come and put their net even in the basketball courts. So we have had, it's not fully over, but it's like 99.9% over.
Okay, well, congratulations to you. And how did you come up with that hunger strike idea?
I come from the land of Gandhi.
Okay. All right, that's
Hunger
very
strike.
smart.
That's it.
Everybody listen. We're all going to a hunger strike.
I'm not eating Snicker bars anymore until the pickleball courts go away. No more Snicker bars for me.
No, I actually posed to Nalini that hunger strike might not be for everyone because,
Yeah.
We used to we have done it earlier during the student times when we were protesting funding cuts to education. So it's a very, potent weapon that Gandhi used against the British. And in India, this is a very commonly used protest method.
That's good
very,
to know.
Very commonly
Interesting
used
strategy.
Method. Yeah.
Hey, Raj,
but there was one strategy which I think I think Nalini told me there's something called International Noise Pollution Day.
Yes.
April something. And my idea was that everywhere, wherever there's a problem, all hotspots,
Closed.
people go and just put the placards and stand on that. On that day, everywhere across North America, one day throughout, you are all pickleball courts, there are people standing with placards protesting.
Yeah.
And that will create a huge impact.
Yeah, I mean,
And since
maybe
my
next
problem
April,
is
that's
solved,
what we'll
I'll
do.
go wherever you want me to be. I don't
Okay,
have
well,
a
thank
problem.
you. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
You're the man. and well done.
Converted tennis court to pickleball court. So this municipality turned 2 quiet tennis courts into 6 loud pickleball courts. Now, it's great. I understand pickleball is a very popular sport, and it's great for people that could no longer play tennis. It's growing in national popularity, and a lot of people love it. However, communities like this one and homeowners associations across the nation are completely neglecting the homeowners that are in the high noise area in these converted pickleball courts. Now, I'm in California. I'm a realtor as well, and I live in this neighborhood, so I hear pickleball all the time. So they open at dawn and they keep these courts lit up until 10 o'clock at night. So there's noise, pip pop all day long. What that does for me is I had to go out and rent an office because I can no longer work in my home because it's too loud. And then as a realtor, I realized, wow, if I was trying to sell my house, or if anyone in this neighborhood wanted to sell their home, then they have to disclose the pickleball noise. I'm going to go over the disclosures that are very, very serious here in California, and certainly most likely across the nation. So these homeowners have to fill out a lot of disclosures about this noise. What that's going to do, according to the realtors that I polled earlier, is that impacts the potential net takeaway for these home sellers. The reason behind that is the noise is going to scare off a lot of potential buyers. So people with children, people that need to work at home, retirees that want to sleep during the day and just have quiet. Plus, their peaceful, quiet neighborhood has been removed against their will. So let's dive in. We're going to look at the disclosures that these homeowners have to do and the impacts, according to realtors, on these homeowners. Noise in the neighborhood. That's basically. I put together a questionnaire to ask active working realtors their experience and how they've been impacted by when they're trying to sell or buy property that is in a noisy area like these pickleball areas. So the questions were based around chronic neighborhood noise. And this is not a scientific study. It's feedback from real working realtors. So question number 1, how does chronic neighborhood noise affect marketability? So the overall result, and I have the results available, most realtors said it's at least a moderate impact, and some said it was a very major impact on marketability. The question number 2 is, which buyers are most likely to be scared away from this noise? So the top groups said were retirees, work from home buyers, night shift workers, and families with young children. So in an area like where I live, by the beach in the center of California, those are the people that move here. The people that are moving to my area, they're selling their houses in LA, San Francisco, so they can retire here. Or they found out during COVID, they don't have to go to the office to work. They can work from home. So they're selling their city houses and moving to the beach. Night shift workers, nothing you can do about it, but families with young children. So none of these people are going to be looking at houses in these noisy places. That is the big concern for homeowners and for realtors. And that is what municipalities are ignoring when they're putting these pickleball courts next to people's homes. Question number 3, how do buyers react when neighborhood noise is disclosed on the TDS? So that's what we talked about before. So you're looking to buy a house and you get a disclosure that says, hey, there's pickleball noise. This is a noisy neighborhood. Well, what happens then? The results, some buyers use it as leverage to get a price reduction. Some don't react strongly unless they hear the noise themselves. And then others may ask for more time to investigate, or they decide not to move forward because they can't live in this noisy area. So question number 4, what is the possible impact on property value? The overall result, most realtors expected some price impact. The most common range was 3 to 5% below market, but some realtors estimated 6 to more than 10% below market. The reason behind that is we need lots and lots of buyers to come in and write offers on our homes. So if every buyer that comes in is interested in writing an offer or likes the home, then we're going to have more offers and more opportunity to do multiple counter offers and drive our price up. But with fewer interested buyers and fewer offers, we are going to make less money, most likely. Question number 5, when should the noise be addressed with buyers? So realtors were kind of split here. For me, I would want to disclose it on my listing and say, just so you know, it's loud. But some said they're going to disclose it early, like me. Some said to let the buyer experience the home first and then actually complain about the noise on that one. And then the last question was just open-ended feedback. And the strongest theme was that the noise can change the way buyers feel about a property. One realtor said chronic noise can be as important as curb appeal. Another said buyers may hear the problem before they even appreciate the house. And one summed it up simply: disclose, disclose, disclose. Overall takeaway, chronic neighborhood noise can affect marketability, pricing, buyer confidence, and the final sale. Not every buyer will walk away, but if the seller knows about recurring noise, it needs to be taken seriously and disclosed properly.
Welcome, SoCal, San Diego. I moved from San Diego to Florida last year. Missing it.
All right.
All right, so welcome. So you live in an HOA. The 4 courts have been, or 2 tennis courts have been converted to 4 pickleball courts. Are you in the city of San Diego? Like,
yes.
Is the city involved at all, or is it just the HOA?
The city does have a noise ordinance, but they don't enforce it, unfortunately. And so, you know, it's we've gone to independently documenting the noise through NoiseNet, and had a really very helpful result by having them put the noise meters on the property for 2 weeks. And the result was that we hear the sound of the pop of pickleball 2,900 times an hour during certain periods of the day. There's only 3,000 seconds in an hour.
Wow.
So I would give a shout out to NoiseNet, because it is a valuable resource for people who are looking to document, whether it's for their local authorities, or their government, or for any neighborhood association.
Well, that's really good to know. So, and have you gone to the city with that? I missed that part. Sorry, there was a lot of commotion here in the studio.
The city will not get involved in documenting the decibel level.
Okay. And what kind of ordinance does the city have, and why are they not enforcing it? Were you able to find out?
Well, I think that they just, they claim that they don't have the resources and the money to respond.
I mean, laws without enforcement mean nothing.
Exactly, and that's our frustration. They will come out if you have a barking dog.
Yeah, that's really sad.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're hoping to change that. And I think the more people will be informed, and certainly there are other groups in San Diego we are looking to connect with, so we can approach the city council and the zoning boards in order to bring this to light, because it is a true problem for many.
And it's interesting that the state isn't involved yet.
I hope it will be.
Yeah, I hope so too. I mean, California usually leads these cases, but let's see what'll happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a number of cases. They're not really brought to light.
Yeah.
But we're hoping that we can have some, I'd like to see a class action suit on behalf of people.
I think that would be good. Yes, definitely. I mean, I don't know how the class action lawyers work, and but yeah, that would be good. Probably nationwide one would be good.
Hey, maybe
So, yeah,
maybe
there's
maybe
enough
somebody
people.
a firm will. Hey, you know what? Let's go for it. You know?
Yeah,
That'd be
yeah,
nice. That'd be
because
great. That'd be great.
this is a huge problem, and
It is.
people. I mean, I learned to play pickleball last year, where I moved. Okay, it's a fun game, but it's a very loud game, and it shouldn't be built in residential areas.
I agree.
I also play pickleball, but never in a recreation, never in an area that has homes nearby.
Yeah, that's
my YMCA has a group. It's indoors.
Oh, nice.
Which is a beautiful place.
Yeah, and that's
to
like
put
one of
it.
the keys. It's like it's indoors. It's fine. It's indoors, and it's a good
Yeah, it's
game,
not-
and
not
but it's
bothering anybody.
It's indoors. It's not bothering anybody. It's
Yeah.
indoors.
Yeah.
It's just it's a new thing. It's like a lot of of the counties, cities, and states. They just don't know yet. They don't realize the impact of pickleball. It's a growing thing, and the indoors way to go. And they can enclose them, make them indoors. It would be no issue.
Yeah, and speaking of laws, actually, well, thank you so much, SoCal. We don't know your
Hey,
name,
Southern
but it
California.
was Southern California. Say hi to San Diego. Thank you.
And thanks for being part of this. We
Yeah,
appreciate it.
and so we have a package about why
Well,
the laws need to be changed.
We'll go to that in just a moment.
Okay.
We're going to talk to Stuart real quick because Stuart gave me his graph that shows all the
cool.
pickleball
Let's
hits
go
over
look
here.
at it.
So we're going to pop in and see Stuart real fast, and then
Okay.
I'm going to pop his graphic on the computer here so we can take a peek at this. Did a big one see that? So, hey, Stuart. Welcome back. We caught you off guard
right.
there, boss.
Happy to be part of the learning experience.
We are glad to have you here, good sir. Stuart, I think they got audio now, and I think we're okay. We're okay, Marion? Stuart?
All right, so what we're seeing here is the output of our automated pickleball monitoring system. So you would install a device, plug it into power, just a standard 110 power point, and mount it at your property, preferably, or some other location affected by the pickleball noise. And what we're seeing here is across the top of that table is the days and dates. And as you can see, this is up-to-date live data. So this is really up till yesterday. In one of the locations that I'm not at liberty to disclose. And what you're seeing inside each of the individual cells, down the left side in the purple is the time of day. So in purple is early morning in half-hour increments. In the yellow is 1 hour increments during the day. And then further down we'll see the half-hour increments in the light blue. Up from 10 p.m. to midnight. And so what you're seeing in those cells, so if we look at that first column from the top, there was actually very little noise. So I'm going to say it was probably raining.
Yep.
And I mean, that was early morning. So
Gotcha.
From 8 o'clock when the courts open, we're not seeing much pickleball on that first day.
Right.
So it's probably raining. And then from 11, obviously the weather's got a little better. And we're seeing peaks of around 1,200 pops per hour.
Wow.
In this particular location. And there's multiple courts in the location, but they have got some sound attenuation, and our devices are located at a distance from the court.
Gotcha.
So what we're measuring is the impact on the resident at the location of our device. And we can see after 10 o'clock there's a little bit of noise as well.
Yep.
We haven't had a chance to investigate this, as I mentioned earlier. I have a suspicion there might be some noise from the skate park next door, and we'll need to just get in, retrain our AI to detect that particular noise, and we'll be able to separate those two out.
Okay.
But what you can see is day by day you're getting updated reports on just how much noise is occurring. And if you have subscribed to the service and you've got a regulator like a town council, a code enforcement team that are working on a case, they can be receiving these results daily as well. So they can see things. If people don't stop at the allotted time, the noise will continue. And so they can come in and talk to the club or whoever's running the facility saying, hey, you were supposed to stop at 10 o'clock, but we're seeing noise continuing beyond that. What's going on? Are the lights still on? How is this possible? So essentially it's giving you the data you need to prove the severity of the case, just as we heard from that SoCal example, as well as potentially providing the missing link for the city when they say, we can't afford to regulate that. You say, that's not true. You can.
Yeah,
Just, you
they
need
can
to use some technology. So it's you know, it's a tool for affected residents. Ultimately, we'd like to think that every city steps up, starts being responsible when they get complaints of this nature, they get the facts, and then they can make the right decisions. So yeah, that's
Stuart. Tell me,
that's us.
Tell our guests, how can we get in touch with you? How can we find you? I mean, where can they go?
The main company is NoiseNet.
NoiseNet.
But yeah, in terms of working with communities, Pickleball Noise Relief is the service that we've priced at a lower point to make it accessible to people affected by noise.
Okay, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Basically, that is Stuart with NoiseNet, and you can find, if you go to pickleballnoiserelief.com, you can basically, find his. Sorry, what?
It's our website.
What?
Wait, what have we got here?
I got
no, it is, that's wrong.
Yeah,
That's wrong. Yeah, sorry. I'm reading off the screen.
Yeah, right there. Go there, everybody. Just go right there. That's where we go. Go right there. Go there. Go there. That place right there. All right. So Pickleball
Noise AC.
Oh, AC. I'm sorry about that. My bad.
So acoustic consulting, not really.
I see. Okay.
Because I know there's some links on our noiserelief.com site for that. But okay, so pickleballnoiseac.com.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Okay, thank you.
Correction. Pickleballnoiseac.com, and that's Stuart with NoiseNet. Thank you, Stuart.
Yeah, and Nalini keeps threatening to put a link from your website across, so we'll keep working on that one.
Okay, that'll be great.
Boss.
Thank you so much, Stuart.
Appreciate it, Stuart. Thank you.
Perfect. All right, thanks, guys.
Bye now.
Okay, bye.
All right, I think it's time for another package. I think we have another package.
Yeah, we were going to show the laws need to change package.
Laws need to change. So let me switch our
and that's what needs to be done.
That.
The laws need to be changed.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. All right, everybody, we got another little package for you, another little video. This is great. This is like when we're back in school, and you have to do all the studies, but then all of a sudden the teacher rolls that TV card out, and you're like, oh, yay, we're going to watch a video. I'm so excited. That's how we're looking at this. That's how I'm looking at this right now.
Mark has worked a lot, by the way.
All right. Hey, all right, so stand by. We're going to roll a video for you, and we're going to play this. This one is called Laws Must Change, and it's a music engineer and educator from Panos, Louisiana, we believe is what it is.
Yes, okay. I think LA stands for...
Let's go ahead and unmute this. Let's roll this and see what happens, okay? Here we go.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the thing is that when those limits...
You were describing to me about the different approaches to this situation, and you said one of them is to look at the issue through the legal lens, but that there's some weaknesses in that approach.
Exactly, yeah.
Can you describe to me?
Yeah, definitely. Well, the thing is that when those limits, the legal limits of noise have been decided, have been set, they have been set based on a specific type of noise, like traffic noise or industrial noise or something like this, which is, it's mostly a sustained noise with a wide frequency spectrum. On the other side, pickleball is completely different. It's impulsive noise. So right now, if someone tries to approach this problem, they can actually go through either the legal side of things, and they will say to you, measure what's the noise on your court. It's below the legal limits, so it's fine. But the limits has not been decided based on the type of noise of this specific activity.
So the nature of the noise.
Exactly. When you have like a high level impulsive noise, it's not going to translate correctly when you're measuring with an LEQ with a high integration time. If you're taking the average of, let's say, 1 second or 200 milliseconds at a time, then the level of the impact of the ball, it's going to be smoothed out within these 200 milliseconds, and it's going to be way lower than what you actually hear. So the problem is that the objective quantity, the one that you actually measure, it doesn't translate in the same way with the subjective quantity, which is the loudness, how loud it is. So,
and whether you hear it or not.
yeah, exactly. I mean, loudness is the objective sensation of how loud is something. So, they don't take that into account because the legal framework is not essentially accepting it. And that's why I'm thinking that, the law should change in this case because, it's a different type of noise and it doesn't translate, the measurement standards does not translate the actual annoyance this noise is causing, essentially.
Yeah, and annoyance in your field of acoustics, how do we define that?
Well, as noise essentially is every sound that, it's not supposed to be there. That's the easiest definition to say. It's either, you put it in some way inside the signal or it's created by the environment. But generally it's something that it's causing aversion when we're talking about environmental noise, at least.
Is lightning an impulsive sound?
Well, I wouldn't say that it's an impulsive sound. It's I mean, if you see the level envelope of the lightning, it's way longer than a paddle skip.
Well, so are there any natural forms of impulsive sound, or is that all just man-made?
Oh, that's a good question, actually. I'm going to say that no, probably most of them are man-made.
There you go.
Yeah.
One more form of pollution.
Yeah, it's indeed.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's 20 seconds in the future.
Now we're in sync.
There you go.
Yeah.
Love it. So anyway, we're just
So listen, you guys just finished listening to one of the early recordings that we did when we founded Pickleball Noise Relief.
Yeah.
Rob Mastroianni
and a lot
set
of
up
good
the
videos out there.
Facebook
Now,
group.
I love all the videos that people supply to us because, boy, I talk about. A lot of folks are just dealing with the noise of pickleball. We get that. But there's a lot of folks just don't know what to do, and I love the fact that you have this organization to help give some guidance.
Yeah, and help bring us together.
Yeah, it's a great group of people.
I would have to be very honest and say it isn't an organization. It really is a grassroots movement.
Oh, a movement.
That's right.
Grassroots movement. Sorry about that. I apologize.
People have
Grassroots
been
movement.
affected by this form of pollution.
Sure.
Across North America. It's now going into Europe and Indonesia and all over the place. And just like Panos said, I want to introduce you. The gentleman's name was Panos La, and he's from Greece. And he is a sound engineer, and he taught us a lot when we first got this group together. And a lot of people have been teaching us, and we've had to explore what are the legal ramifications, real estate, medical, mental health, planning, zoning, science. We have problems just getting the sound engineers themselves and the acoustics engineers to recognize the fact that this sound doesn't belong in the spectrum of our normal hearing.
True.
It's a fight or flight response when we hear it, and so it puts you on edge. And because I've been at this for now 5 years, I've watched people's lives really be disrupted. And
if I may add, Nalini, I think you're awesome. I mean, because you were there for me because we had those. I had those 10 courts that were built behind my house, 50 feet away, and I didn't know what to do. I had no clue. And thank God for you guys that could talk to you to give me some direction. I really appreciate the heck out of you.
Yeah, we do. Really do. We all do.
Yeah, we do.
Well, we feel that, and it's not just me. There is a nice handful of people who have been working together so hard. And we want to continue. That's why we wanted to bring a lot of more resources into a video. And I just wanted to shout out to all the people that did contribute their wonderful videos and their expertise. I don't know which of the package, I don't know if we ever saw the one from Ruth Martin, where she spoke to the city council.
Oh, no, we wanted to go to that one next.
You know what? I got her queued up. You want to watch it real quick and come back to you?
I'd love to.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
all right.
that's a really good one.
Water break for Nalini, and because we're asking her a lot of questions today, and we're going to switch over to the system and take a look at Ruth Martin's testimony at Laguna Beach City Council.
Good evening. Laguna Beach is a city of exceptional quality of life and beauty. Unfortunately, a low-income senior complex near Lang Park had the peaceful enjoyment of their residences taken away from them when the city installed 3 pickleball courts within 20 feet of their complex. The city has subjected these residents to excessive and annoying noise from these courts for far too long. We are talking about senior residents who are financially unable to afford legal counsel. We are talking about elderly residents, some who are physically unable to attend these meetings. However, you have received their letters and petitions asking for immediate relief. You have all been provided with the California Civil Codes, the CEQA requirements, California Health and Safety Codes, California Penal Codes, and your own municipal codes. These address Californians' right to live in a peaceful and quiet environment. They restrict excessive and annoying noise. They state that elder abuse is any action or inaction that harms, endangers, or causes distress. There are residents near Lang Park who are subjected to excessive and annoying pickleball noise. They are suffering physical and mental health and are in distress. BB&K provided legal counsel to Newport Beach and San Clemente regarding pickleball noise. Both cities were sued. Both cities agreed to remove the pickleball courts near residents and locate them away from neighborhoods. It is unconscionable that the city has targeted its low-income elderly with this and continue to subject them to this day. I urge you to keep your tax-paying residents from substantial legal costs and close your courts immediately. Also, I understand you have a park up at Rim of the World. If you need the courts, dual line 1 tennis court. That makes for pickleball. Pickleball's great, it's just loud. Thank you.
Aloha, I'm Dr. Soraya Applegate. I am here in my home in Hawaii, and you can see, here's my home, here's my beautiful garden, and you can see right there, our home is right next to, an adjoining wall, garden wall to the recreation courts. Now, we've lived here for 13 years with these, we bought the house with these recreation courts. There's basketball and volleyball and tennis, and we have lived with the noise from these courts with absolutely no problem at all. Children playing, the courts are open 9 till 9, 365 days a year. Not a single complaint have we made. If it got a little too loud, we'd just close these doors here. Yeah, it wasn't a problem until March of 2024, when due to requests from residents who you can see are not really anywhere close to us. We live on a compound here. There are many, many houses, but we are the only ones right in front of these courts. So the request was that this volleyball court be turned into a pickleball court, and as soon as that happened, my life completely changed. So this house on the ground floor, I have a tenant, and me and my husband live in this house. The day that noise started, March 17th, I will never forget, because I had no idea what had changed. What was all the noise? What was all the shouting and swearing? What was going on out here that had never gone on in 13 years? It was not normal noise. And come to find out, it's the pickleball court that's being put there. And I thought, well, I've been a perfect citizen resident here for 13 years. I'm just going to request that be changed back because of the noise. But unfortunately, it kind of fell on deaf ears for a while. And I went to board meetings. I was met with a lot of aggression. My tenant threatened to move out. It was not pretty, and I felt very ostracized. And I just want to say, if you're going through that in your home situation with tennis courts that were converted to pickleball courts, if nobody's listening to you, I understand. So time went on. I thank goodness, because I researched the heck out of it. As a doctor, I want to know what is happening. Why is this noise having such an effect on me, my nervous system, my ability to think straight, actually causing pain in my body, giving me heart palpitations, giving me high anxiety. Why is that? And luckily, I came across the pickleball noise relief group, and they saved me. Thank God for that group, because I found in that group hundreds of people who were also dealing with the same situation, and so they became my support group. I have to get out of the sun here, and made me realize I wasn't going crazy. I didn't need a psychiatrist or a psychologist, which is what had actually been expressed to me at one point. Anyway, I am a success story because the board, once they had a letter from my tenant saying she was going to have to move out because of the noise, the board did close down the courts, put a temporary sign up, and then continued for the next 6 months to kind of have meetings and somehow think they were going to allow residents to use quiet noise balls, which you can see at this distance would make no difference really. And we don't have security on there. The only people that can see that court is actually the people that live in this house. So once they made noises, in 6 months to that they were going to allow that, I got a lawyer. I had been given the name of a really amazing lawyer who dealt with HOAs, and so he was on my side, and I employed him, if you like, and all it took was one phone call from him to the board here, and the board, who had argued with me for 6 months, unanimously decided that yes, they cannot just change this court into something else. But I have to say, it wasn't because they had read the thousands of papers I had sent to them. None of them joined the pickleball support group. None of them actually really cared about my plight until I got a lawyer involved. So it didn't go to a lawsuit. It was shut down then and there. And now it's returned back to its original use of volleyball court, and we continue to hear the joyful noises of people playing out there with no stress to us. So as a doctor, I'm here to let you know this: whatever you're feeling is valid and true. It's a stress response, it's a PTSD response in the body, and for me, this is 2 years ago. I still hear the noise if I'm out in a public place, perhaps walking past a car, and something within me like tenses up. That is a PTSD response that the specific pitch and frequency of pickleball causes like no other sport. So I wish you all the best in your health and your struggle to get those courts near your homes closed down. And yes, I did a lot of praying in that year. So I will do the same for you. Aloha.
Thank you, Soraya. So, yeah. So, are we at the wrap up of our event?
We are at the wrap up point right now, and I was going to.
Well, it's been a really great day working with you all. We've all put in so much time and met and plotted out how we would do this. Thank you so much, Tuba and Mark, for being our hosts. Oh, you're welcome.
No, I really appreciate you, and this has been awesome. I mean, this, again, to everybody watching, a rough road for us, first one out of the gate. A lot of cogs in the works on this one, and but we're going to be doing we're going to have a little post-production meeting on this one, and we're going to make the next one even better. This is how it all starts, just like this.
We're going to start working on it now.
Remember, when this is really huge, remember, this is the first one. Remember this. This is the one that we burned. Nobody ever sees again.
And we're open to ideas of how to ramp up the organization of this and how we can help each other.
Yes.
I know that the grassroots movement that's opposing the data mining centers is extremely well organized.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and one of their leaders who does the intake with communities, she's sort of a mentor to me now.
Oh, nice.
And the thing we have in common is that we're being exposed to this very serious public health crisis. It's a crisis for all of you.
No.
but nobody else knows about it. And so that leads to a feeling of helplessness. You know, people go through a lot of mental health issues.
Yeah.
And I think it's just important to point it out. This is a serious public health issue. And so my hope is that we all go out to our counties, states, and the federal government, get the EPA involved, and spread the word.
Agreed.
We have a slate that we're going to show that's in memoriam to actually one of our supporters who her funeral is today, which is a lot of irony, because we heard about 6 weeks ago that she was diagnosed with ALS, which is a neurological disease. And she succumbed, and we just really put our spoken about her, and she worked with the university for many, many years. She was raised in Salem, a lifelong resident. So we're going to miss Donna, and I hope I don't make a mistake on her last name here. Is Matkevicius.
We actually Marion did research. It's Matkevicius. Matkevicius. Matkevicius.
I bet that's almost as hard as, I mean, that's harder than Nalini.
Yeah.
And my last
your
name is
I know.
Lasiewicz, so
yeah.
I have a Polish one, but we're going to miss her. She was a very kind and sensitive person, and I feel in a way that this event is dedicated in her memory.
Yeah. Looks like a nice lady.
So, Mark, I'd like to sign off, and maybe have you wrap things up. Thanks again for hosting, and
problem.
we'll talk to you real soon.
Glad to be part of this, and I can't wait to see where this goes from here.
Thank you.
All right, thanks,
Bye,
Nalini.
Nalini.
Bye, Nalini. Thank you. Well, everybody, I think we come to an end of our piece here. I mean, thank you for bearing with us. I hope this is going to make a very good bloopers reel. That's for darn sure.
Yeah.
But a lot of good content. There's a lot of good people out there. So if you're dealing with this, you're not alone. Remember, you got people that are in the same boat as you, and we're here to listen. We got you. We just, if you need somebody, talk to us or talk to somebody, okay?
Yeah.
And don't take it on by yourself.
And
all
don't
right?
give up. There are already laws in place. They just need to enforce them. They might need to change some laws, but don't give up. We need to all come together and fight this together.
Right. And just a side note, one of my therapist friends reached out to me. They said, by the way, even though they can't associate pickleball with PTSD yet, it can be associated with other kinds of stress disorders and types of things like that. So don't think it just has to be just PTSD. There's other things that this causes, which you can use to your advantage for fighting these things, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.